In this session, we're going to talk a little bit about how to make meals on a larger scale. So we've showed you some of the ways to make meals just that'll last you for the next week, and this is how to make meals that'll last for the next month or even couple of months. In this method, you're going to either do it by yourself or with just one other person. So normally when Christy and I do our meals, we do them for 3 months at a time, and it does take us a couple of days, but it saves us so much time in the long run because then we're not cooking again for 3 months, if you can imagine that. It's an incredible feeling when we're done. We do a little happy dance and it's great. What we do is we set stations around the kitchen, and just for the sake of demonstrating today, we've only set 5 stations out, but normally when we do our large cook, we've got stations set all over the kitchen and even onto the stove area and everything. So today we just have used the meals from the kid-friendly meal plan, and these are just meals that most kids like and will eat and that use kind of common everyday ingredients, and that's why we chose them. And so here we have the pizza casseroles set out with everything done ahead. So one of the key things when you're doing large session is to prep ahead. And so in this one, I've even measured out the pasta that's going to be attached onto the back of these pizza casseroles. And this way, the day of cooking, you know that you've already got the pasta. You're not going to have to run to the store. Everything is all together and it works really well. So we've got other stations set around the kitchen, and one thing when you're setting stations out is it's really handy to put stations next to each other that have similar ingredients. So if you have 2 recipes that each need taco seasoning, if you set them out next to each other, then you can use the taco seasoning for the one, move it over to the other, use it for that, and then you can actually put it away and clear those stations off. And as your kitchen gets cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, you know that you're getting closer and closer to being finished, which is a great feeling as well. So that's just the way that we like to do this, and that we've found to be pretty effective. So the first meal that we're going to start with is this pizza casserole, and normally when Christy and I do this together, she works on one recipe while I work on another recipe. That way we're not in each other's space and we're not elbowing each other and
divide and conquer.
Yes. And she would do 4 or 8 meals of that one recipe over there while I'm working on 4 or 8 meals of this recipe over here. And then afterwards she takes half home and I take half home, and it's all good. Today, because we're wanting to just show you how this works, we're going to work on them together so that it doesn't get confusing and you can really see us get this done. So we're just going to throw this together. What we've done so far is put 2 cups of cubed ham in each bag and 1 cup of mozza cheese, and we're just going to go along. Christy's going to do the things on that side, and I'm going to do the things on this side. So I'm just adding half a cup of minced onion into each bag.
I'm adding the parmesan cheese, and there's already mozzarella cheese in there. It is a nice cheesy recipe when it's done.
And then you're going to add some cans of mushroom.
And
now,
I need to add, sorry, go ahead.
If your kids won't eat mushrooms, don't add them to the recipe. It's that simple. These are really recipes that you can adapt and change and make them work for your family.
Go ahead.
Just read an overview. Okay. So this again is that giant can of tomato sauce, and we're going to use it for this and just scoop out of it because these call for quite a lot of tomato sauce. So,
and if your kids don't like the green peppers on their pizza, this is a nice fun way to try introducing something new, that there's really not a lot of it in there. It's little, it's cute. See if you can get them to eat it that way.
Because this combines the flavors of pizza into a pasta, most kids really will eat it.
I'll do the Italian seasoning.
Okay. Now again, your measurements do not have to be exact. We're kind of just pouring and kind of hoping that everything comes out okay. And all of our recipes do, so.
I don't think we've ever had one and at the end said, boy, did we mess that up.
No.
There's been recipes that we've tried that are like, boy, maybe we won't try that one again. But never.
No, never because we didn't measure properly. So.
Remember when I forgot to put the mozzarella in the manicotti?
Yes. Yes, I do.
And we still ate it. Like, the
wasn't
flavor
bad.
was still nice.
So I'm just adding a bit of red pepper flakes. Again, my family likes things spicier than Christy's family does. So this is something that we can adapt and add a little bit more into mine than into hers. And we'll just remember that hers are on that side. And then mine will get a little more. And those are done. Just close them up, squish them together, take the air out of the bags, and then we're gonna staple a pack of the pasta onto each one.
When you're stapling, make sure you get this top part above your zip line, not below, or you will have trouble.
Exactly.
Like the spilling
and
kind.
You want to make sure, obviously, that you take your staples out before you make your food.
And if you defrost in the microwave, you probably shouldn't do it in your plastic bag anyway, but if you do, make sure you take your staples out before you do that too.
There you go. And as easy as that, you've got a lovely pizza casserole. So for Tater Tot Casserole, we're gonna do something that's a tiny bit different, and that's just that we're gonna mix the sauce together in a bowl and then pour it over. This happens to be my kids' favorite dish, and so we get asked a lot if I'll make this for supper, and even if we're having this, the kids will come home from friends' houses just to have this. It's their absolute favorite, and sometimes they ask for it for their birthday supper. So I'm just mixing together cream of mushroom soup and condensed milk. And condensed milk freezes well.
We haven't had good luck using regular milk.
But condensed milk works just fine. So I'm just gonna whisk that together, add a little bit of pepper and some paprika.
It's just a dash.
Yep. So it's about a dash. And then I'm gonna pour this on top. So I just want to tell you about our bags. So earlier I browned sausage, and on Christy's bags I wrote a C because for her family I used mild sausage, and for ours I used spicy Italian sausage. So I just wanted to separate out our bags so that we would know what we were doing. And
I'm ready. Oh, am I cutting your bags?
no, go ahead.
Okay,
There.
you cut your bags.
So
I'll whisk.
we're all good. So you just, I mean, what is there not to like for kids about this recipe? It's tater tots. It's not the healthiest thing in the world, but it's probably healthier than going through a drive-through, and it's just as fast, if not faster. And when you bake this one, you just lay the sausage in your casserole dish first, put this on top, bake it in the oven, and you're good to go. So just pour half my sauce into each bag. And then afterwards, I'm gonna staple the sausage on so that we've got absolutely everything that we need right here.
Oh, I have a spout. I should use it. Spouts are not mandatory.
And again, it doesn't have to be exact. So if I have a little bit more in one bag than the other, it's just fine. It's no problem. It's still gonna work. And I'll just staple this one on so that you can see what it looks like when it's done. Like Christy said, you don't want to put your staple too far down so that you break your bag or put a hole in your bag. Oop. You just want to squish it down so that it'll lay flat in your freezer. And there you go, tater tot casserole. Now we're gonna throw together the sloppy joes. So 1 pound of ground beef is 2 2.3 cups. So Christy put 2 1/3 cups of ground beef into each of these bags already, and we're just gonna go ahead and go through the rest of the recipe really quickly. You have access to all these recipes, so we won't really talk it out. We'll just kind of throw the ingredients in and get these done. You can see how fast this goes and how easy this really is, so that you know that you can do it. Because believe me, if we can do these,
You can do
anyone
these.
can do these.
Am I on your road for the onion now?
No, it's all good.
Okay. Half a cup of chili sauce.
Yep.
Gonna scoot around like
Okay.
that.
Like I said earlier, normally we wouldn't be working on these together, so we wouldn't be getting in each other's way, but today we're just gonna kind of show this to you this way. Okay, so 14 ounces of tomato sauce. Again, I'm gonna grab this big can here and just roughly measure out my 14 ounces using this. And this recipe is great because you can put it on, obviously on buns because it's sloppy joes. But again, one of our sons is gluten-free, so we just make sure that the Worcestershire sauce, that I can't say that word, that's gluten-free, and then he can have this on gluten-free buns, and the rest of our kids can have it on regular buns.
I'm doing 1/4 cup of water in each one. So we just had a cup sitting there, and I'm divvying it up. And look at us go. Tablespoon of brown, oh, you're still going. Can you do the tablespoon of brown sugar? 'Cause
I
it's
sure
over
can,
there,
yep.
when you're ready, and I'll do the Worcester sauce.
Christy's got a better way to say it.
I watched a video once. And that's 2 teaspoons.
So is it 1 tablespoon of brown sugar?
1 tablespoon of brown sugar.
Okay, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar.
That one's a little more.
It's all good.
2 teaspoons of 2 teaspoons of lemon? That sounds lovely. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Obviously measuring
1, 2.
is as important as we said earlier. With a new recipe, you might want to measure. Once you've made these recipes a million times, you don't really need to measure as much anymore. We've made this one a lot. So what do I have
teaspoon
next?
of dry mustard.
Okay.
And I will do 2 teaspoons of chili powder. This one I'm actually going to measure because it's kind of a tough one to pour out of there, hey?
Okay. Can't fit my teaspoon in there, so I'm just going to do 2 half teaspoons.
And
Come on out.
a dash of pepper.
Okay, and just like that, we are done our sloppy joes. Well, we're going to have to actually switch spots here. And now
We really are.
we really are done our sloppy joes. So I was excited to show you guys this really simple recipe because it's so versatile. We're just gonna make taco meat, and everybody knows what to do with taco meat. You make tacos, and that's true. So, but one of the things we use our taco meat for is to make taco salad, or actually we'll cook up pasta and throw this taco meat in there with some cheese and top it with some green onions and that kind of thing, and it's just delicious. Christy uses her taco meat sometimes to put on nachos. Earlier we were saying that she makes her taco meat usually in the smaller bags, so the medium-sized bags, and she makes 2 for every one that I make, and then that little bag is just perfect size for those nachos. So this taco meat can obviously be used in like your soft shell or hard shell taco, or taco salad, or pasta, or on nachos, or whatever.
Or the next day, if you have some left over, I like to mix mine with rice and then break up crunchy tacos in there.
There you go.
And then a little bit of lettuce. And, yeah.
So super versatile and easy and just fast to throw together. So we're just gonna
We've already done the ground beef in this one. This is 1.5 pounds of ground beef. I'm gonna do the taco seasoning.
So I'm just putting in minced onion into each bag. And Christy's gonna do the taco seasoning.
I'm gonna leave the vinegar to you because there's a teaspoon of vinegar in each of these. And I wanna see how you're gonna do this with that giant jug.
Okay, so again, it doesn't have to be exact, but now that she put that pressure
I'm
on
counting
me.
out loud, but sometimes you lose count unless you see it out loud.
So 1 teaspoon.
It's a little chunk.
And again, with the taco seasoning, this really is harder to do both of us on one recipe than one person on each recipe. But you get the idea of how to assemble these this way anyway.
And we're having fun.
That's true.
If this is more fun for you and you have a good friend that you could do this with, go ahead and have fun.
And the other thing is you can make it a little spicier if you want to add some hot sauce to yours or whatever, or when you're actually, putting it together, you can add some hot sauce. So I'm just going to add tomato sauce. And so again, this can is from when we were just making the sloppy joes, and this one calls for less tomato sauce, and I'm not going to be exact. It calls for 6 ounces. That's about 6 ounces. And so that's going to go in each bag, and I'm going to pass them to Christy to close. And that's really all that's in this one. So it's done. Okay, so the last recipe we're going to put together is called chicken hurry, and it's an old family favorite, and kids love it probably because it has ingredients like ketchup and brown sugar in it. So again, maybe not the healthiest thing on the planet, but it's healthier than what you might get at a drive-thru, and it's something that you're going to all eat around the table, and eating as a family is so important. So this is a way to do it.
Tell them about the soup.
So
doesn't chicken hurry make the best soup?
Chicken hurry with the leftovers of chicken hurry, if you have leftovers, you take the chicken and all the sauce and you put it with whatever else you have left over. So onions and peas and whatever, carrots, and add some chicken stock or some water, and it makes the most amazing leftover soup. And so then you've taken this one meal and stretched it out over 2 meals, and so that's even more frugal. One thing I wanted to mention too was the ketchup. So we're gonna add ketchup into these bags, and we bought this giant, enormous ketchup, which is ridiculous. It's so much cheaper than buying the ketchup bottles. And then if we have leftover, because we've got other recipes that call for ketchup too, when we've got leftover ketchup, then we just funnel it into our bottles. So that way we're using our ketchup and getting the best price for it. So Christy's put in some dry onion soup mix in here, and we buy an MSG-free dry onion soup mix. So if that's something that's important to you, it is out there, it's available. And then I'm just gonna add a 1/4 cup of water into each bag. Yep. Christy's adding the brown sugar. And they're done.